Welcome back to Pilgrims Walk. For a change this week, we're starting off with a very positive message about an Argyle result. Congratulations. The Argyle ladies won 3-2 this weekend into the quarterfinals of the FA Cup Northerns Women League. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant news for all Argyle fans. And Chris says, please can we stick the ladies out to play Port Vale in a couple of weeks because they've got more fight than the first team. I hope you're all doing well. Chris, Reece and Jayden are all fresh back from Yorkshire from watching the Huddersfield game. And, oh God, Chris, I'm just going to shut up and let you take the floor and tell us what you think. Coming up on this week's show, we're going to talk about Cleverley's promise to judge him after 15 games. That is coming up. We'll look at that. We'll also have a look at the Fair Play League as well, where do Plymouth Argyle sit. Go on then, Chris. More of the same?
Yeah, we're horrendous in defence. Our midfield isn't much caught, and we're struggling up front. So apart from that, we're doing really well. Our back four, honestly, in defence, you see better defending in a park than what I've seen over the last 2 or 3 games. Saturday, 2 of the 3 goals were both scored by the ball over the back four to the last man, and our last man had a player behind him, about a yard behind him, and suddenly he scored both goals. And you're thinking, what about touch? You know, what happened to that? Touch your attacker. You know where he is. If he goes in front of you, you know where he is. No, balls over the head, right to their attacker, and he's put it in. And our defender's gone, flipping heck, didn't see him. Where did he come from? Oh, there's a bit of a clue there. But you open your eyes and start marking up like you should do. Be aware. And that's 2 of the goals. And at the moment, we go a goal down. We're not coming back from it. Tolai, again, the man of the season, scored a good goal for us, tried to get us back, but it was already 3 down by then, you know. And what can you say? Argyle at the moment, like I said last week, we don't know how this Tom's setting them up. We don't know what system he's playing. I don't think they do. I genuinely don't think they have a clue. Tom's struggling. That's without a shadow of doubt. He needs help. He needs help. He needs to walk, or he needs to get sacked. One of those 3 things. And it will happen. It will happen very soon, I think. I'm not sure about the help, but there's rumours that we're getting a new director of football in. The difference is he don't play. So, you know, we're not exactly getting a new signing here, are we? But the director of football, yeah, he'll help him in the future if he's still there. But I personally can't see Tom making it much more. I'd give him up until the next game, really, Port Vale. If that don't pan out, which every chance it won't, he'll be gone. You can't go on like this, that's for sure. I mean, our players, a bunch of prima donnas who just aren't fit enough to wear the Argyle shirt. They've got a wrong attitude. I can go on and on about the players because they are abysmal. And he's working with a load of you-know-what, absolute crap.
Cheers for that, Chris. I love your passion. And of course, you know, you travel the country, pay your money, you have to sit in the stands on cold November Saturdays and watch this tripe. Reece, some fans saying some of his decisions are just beyond professional now. This one in particular, I want to get your view on. VBTS says, now being on a striker who couldn't get in the Taunton Town team, then finally make the most pointless double substitution in the 93rd minute. I'm actually convinced he's trying to get sacked and paid off now. You mentioned youth players last week, didn't you, all of you? And now he's bringing on a guy who didn't get in the Taunton Town side. What do you make of some of these baffling decisions, especially the substitutions?
Genuinely, when I saw that come through on my Twitter, I laughed. It just summed up the entire weekend. I'm completely numb to the result. I'm not even particularly angry at the result anymore or the performance. It doesn't surprise me. As angry as I've been, even after the them lot up the road game, I'm as angry as I've been because of that, because of the hole the club has found itself in, and the lack of action from the club. I don't normally do this. I don't normally write things down for this. This is all normally off the top of my head. 2nd of November 2023, the club came out with a 5-year plan. And that 5-year plan was to be top 6 of the Championship in 5 years' time. We're 2 years into that, and the whole idea of it was to be fan focused. I don't know about you two, but do you feel engaged with the club? Do you feel connected to the club at the moment? I don't. They talked about financial strength. Last season, we made a £5.8 million loss before player sales. That's not financial strength. They talk about using data for players. Where did the data come from for Ian Foster, who it turns out this week we went and approached him? He didn't apply for the job. We went and approached him. What was that all about? Wayne Rooney, did he apply for it or did we approach him? Or was it just mates of whoever the board knew were getting the jobs? How have we got to the point where, 2 years ago, we had Schumacher in the club and it was the most connected I had been to that club for forever I known. There was such a good feeling around the club. There was you were excited to go to games every week, and the Foster appointment came in, and everyone went, "Who's he?" But you trusted the board. We all went, "Oh, you read about him, and he sounds exciting. Give him a chance." And then then it all went wrong. I mean, he had no club experience. He sounded like a bit of a horrible person in the behind the scenes with the players, and that they didn't act quick enough with getting rid of him. And thankfully, we got away with it. We really got away with it that year. Rooney, what was going on there? Why was he even near the club? What data did they come out and go, yeah, that works. That. He's been at 3 clubs and he's got relegated to 2 of them. How is that? What data? What work and efficiency is that? And then that goes wrong. But they wait so long to get it wrong, to take change. They then just randomly change the playing style for 6 months, bring in a load of players. They finally back someone. All those players move on, and we change the style again. And we go to a manager who's had a year in charge, of which half of that season was dire with Watford. Absolutely shocking. And where did they go? We all thought Cleverley was actually. I think it was the first time that we all went, yeah, he seems the right person. But it's going wrong, and it's gone so wrong. And at what point is the board going to get their finger out their arses and go, "We need this. Got to stop. This has got to stop. We can't continue like this." And either go and get someone for the rest of the season, just at the end of the season, stabilize the club, stabilize everything, and stop this free falling. Even if I don't think it's Warnock, but someone like him, what he used to do before he retired. Someone's going to stabilise the club, get these players going, bring some players in that they know in January. It's on loan. Just go and get loan players, just that can get us through the season, and then deal with it next summer when you've got a bit of a bigger window, you've got a bit more time, you can be interviewing over the next 6 months for a manager, and sort ourselves out. We've got to stop this free fall, and the board don't seem to care. And in the words of our new CEO, who hasn't even started, he's not concerned. What sad state of affairs we're in.
It is madness. The words of Tom himself, Jayden, have come just for that, Reece, have come back to bite him a little bit on social media this week. He said after 15 games is where the league table will take shape, maybe 10, but when our first 8 games are all against the top teams, it'll be unfair to judge where we're at as a team. And many people have said, well, Tom, now it's time to judge because we're at 15 games now, and there we are. We sit, I can't believe it, you sit rock bottom. And not only that, but Jane, I'm sure you'll have noticed that Peterborough, brand new manager, won convincingly at the weekend. Blackpool, brand new manager, won convincingly at the weekend. Why have we not seen the corner flag picture yet?
God knows what the board are looking at, really. It's clear to see, clear as day, every single performance. If the owners are still going to games like they were when we were in the Championship, then they should be seeing it as well. I don't know what they're seeing. It's just laughable at this point, some of it. Some of the defending for the second goal was absolutely laughable off that corner. Went for about 5 of our players, and we couldn't deal with it. So many poor performances every single week. I mean, Sorinola was awful. just off the left. Like they were just walking past him at some points. And yeah, there's just so many players that look like they are not bothered at all, and that is a really, really sad state of affairs, as Reece said.
Okay. This one from OSSL. He has to go. The players aren't playing for him. Anyone with a brain cell can see it. And also, whilst you actually take them green tinted people off Argyle TV, I'm bored of hearing them defend this week and without. This isn't good enough. It's beyond laughable. Some real anger, Chris. And from your time supporting the club, which has been many, many, many years, is this the lowest you felt as a fan, or can you remember harder times than this?
Well, the only other time when we went into liquidation, and that was a bad period. But that was not necessarily fault of the team as such. It wasn't a fault of the manager. It was bad practice that had gone on with the board, and so that was a bad period. Other than that, this is by far the worst I've ever been a supporter of Plymouth Argyle. One of the problems being, as supporters, we all have a voice, we all have opinion. That's what football's about. But our board, especially our chairman, and I'm not going to knock him too much, but he's an advocate of whatever the supporters think, he will almost go against it and go opposite. Now, what he fails to see there is, as supporters, if he loses the trust of those supporters and the effect that will have on them walking away, without supporters, you haven't got a football club. That's a fact. There's no point in running, because nobody's going to come in and put money into a club if it hasn't got a great fan base. So, Simon, you need to understand supporters do have a voice, and it's not all bad. If they've got an opinion that against the manager, there's a reason for it. I don't think people just come out willy-nilly and say, get rid of the manager, get rid of him, get rid of him. They do it for a reason, because of what they see, because of what they see on a weekly basis. Now, Simon doesn't see this on a weekly basis. What he does see is it from time to time. And he's next over here, due to the fact he lives in America, I understand. He's next over here for the Northampton home game, which is our next game. With that point, that could be a really, really toxic. Lose that one at home if Tom is still in charge, which, knowing our board at the moment, they are so lackadaisical, and they really need a kick up the ass about everyone else's opinions, and they count other people's opinions and do something about it, which I can't honestly see them doing quickly. They should have done it now, obviously, with a 2-week break. That would have been a great idea.
Exactly.
But that is not happening. So with that in mind, I think he needs to focus more on the fan base, and because we've not heard from Simon at all. We've not heard from anyone apart from a CEO who's not even official in his capacity as one yet.
Talking of things I've written down, that is one of the things I've written down. The last chairman's chat was the 31st of May, 163 days ago.
It was the 31st of May, and I think I'm right in saying he promised that he would have a chairman's chat every 3 months.
Yep.
Now, apart from a fan base where we had the fans forum in August, we haven't seen or heard from him since. Now, that is beyond 3 months. I mean, that was, 5 months ago? So he's failed on a number of duties. And I've got it on good authority. There is things that have been promised behind the scenes to certain managerial positions at Argyle, and they were promised, and they haven't come to fruition. You can only guess what those things are, because it's not fair for me to delve deeper than that, because I don't want to get anyone in trouble. But things have been promised and they've not been come to fruition. Now, with that in mind, what a sad state of affairs. What sort of person is suddenly going to come to Plymouth Argyle and take over if Tom leaves, unless he gets some sort of definitive the way ahead? Because at the moment, we're struggling, and there's only one way we're going, and that's downhill. We ain't getting away from this position at the moment, as sad as it is. Last year, Music came in, and what did he do? Got 2 great defenders in. That's where you've got to start. He got Niko Katic and Maxi Tolarov in. And those two were a brick wall in defence, and I mean a brick wall. Nothing was going past them. And I'm convinced if those two had been fit and stayed to the season together as a partnership, every chance we wouldn't have gone down, and we wouldn't.
100%.
And we are, but that hasn't happened. So it's if buts and maybes. So what we have got to do, whoever does come in, got to sort out the defence. Leaking goals is no good to win games. So we've got to sort out that defence and then move on forward, midfield, up front. Torley, brilliant bloke. Love him to bits. Got to have someone working alongside of him, and he's got to have balls put through to him on the deck, either on the deck or something for him to run onto. Not struggling like he is. It's pathetic. Absolutely angers me.
And he's going to go back to his old hunting ground, Reece, in the next game of course, at Vale Park. How big is that fixture now?
Oh, it's bonkers that we're 15 games into the season and we're already talking about 6-pointers, but it is, isn't it? It's a 6-pointer. If you lose that, you're suddenly they're joint on points with us, and I think, well, let's be honest, we've got an extra again. We've let our goal difference be so poor that we're a point behind everyone again. But you think they've got joint on points? You lose, you're in real problems. And between now and then, we could be 7 points adrift. 7 points adrift from the safety. That you don't make that up overnight, especially when, like you said, Peterborough, Blackpool, Wickham, they're all getting momentum because they've changed their manager. The boards have been smart. They've used their brains and gone, yeah, we need to make a change. This isn't working. Let's make a change. And they haven't forced it to work, which unfortunately we do, don't we? But that's what you get. Unfortunately, we've got an inexperienced CEO, we've got an inexperienced director of football, we've got an inexperienced manager, we've got an inexperienced team. There's no experience there going, lads, this isn't working, we need to change this. There's no one there that's putting their heads together and going, look, we've got to stop this. This has got to stop. We all wanted it to work. We all wanted Cleverley to work. I think before the Exeter game, I think all three of us were very much, yeah, it's not going great, but we've got to give him a bit of time because the summer he got stabbed in the back. We all said that. But since then, performance have just been appalling, and you can't keep going like that. You've got to.
Okay.
Yeah.
Appreciate all
I feel
three of
sorry
you.
for anyone listening to this on their way to work.
No one
tomorrow
knows.
morning.
The Plymouth ladies are doing well. Let's keep it cheery.
Well, yeah.
But a big thank you to everyone who commented on last week's. I know lots of you said, feel for Chris and feel for the team that having to travel all these miles. So we appreciate the community that we're building here. And we don't want to be one of those negative, of course, podcasts. But look, we're just calling it as we see it. Let's switch gears a little bit. We're doing our Fair Play League draw this week to check in just where we are with our disciplinary. Jayden, where do you reckon Argyle sit if we order them in terms of yellow cards, red cards? What have you seen?
I think we had 2 or 3 in the first half, didn't we, against Huddersfield, which isn't low. So I'd say 20th.
Well, we ended up actually with 6 booked on Saturday.
Yeah,
You
are the
yeah, exactly, yeah.
Yeah, not bad. Yeah, 21st. Yeah, you are the third dirtiest side in the league.
Oh,
Yeah, 32 yellow cards, and of course 2 red cards to follow. Mean that there's only Lincoln and Wigan which are dirtier than you. Does that surprise any of you that you last ditch pullbacks?
No, but it's not those professional fouls. It's not the last ditch fouls. It's not the cheeky fouls. It's gobbing off to the referee half the time that gets us the cards. It's
the soft
wrong bookings.
Yeah, it's the soft ones, isn't it?
Yeah.
Dirtier than Cardiff and Stockport and all the others there. But who'd have thought, eh? Argyle. Dirty old Argyle.
Yeah.
I think half of them, to be fair, have been Bradley Ibrahim.
Okay.
At least we're good at something.
You're good at something. You're top of the league at something.
Cleverly, be bragging about that next week.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen that comment, Mark. That's,
the
we've got to take positivity that we're top of the group in the Virtue Cup virtual
Oh yes, of
whatever
course, yeah.
trophy it is. Or,
The
yeah, right,
virtual
mate. Of course, that's
yeah.
get
All right.
relegated, but we're off to Wembley.
We've been doing the A to Z of Argyle over the last couple of weeks as well. We're on to the letter E this week, so a little more tricky for the lads here to think about. One player, one event. What best represents this famous old club for the letter E? Open forum rather than one each.
Well,
I've got three.
I thought of two. So I'll go with me two first.
Go on, you
Go on
go.
then.
Right, I've got two. E for Joe Edwards, 2019 to present day, 250 appearances, 24 goals. Absolute wears his heart on his sleeve. He's been a great servant for us. Out of those 24 goals, no one's going to forget the goal he got against Hull City, which kept us in that championship for that season. And when he does come on, he lifts the crowd every single time because you know what you're going to get from Joe, 100%. But apart from him, my choice would be Mickey Evans. Absolute legend. Legend for Plymouth Argyle Football Club. He was with us twice. He's been with us for 12 seasons. He was with us from 1990 to 97, and then again in 2001 to 2006. Now, that man, 432 appearances and 81 goals. Absolute brilliant player for Plymouth Argyle Football Club. I cannot see another E named apart from Mickey Evans for me. We ended up selling him to Southampton for 650,000. He then got sold by them to West Brom for 750,000. I don't think Joe Edwards in his heyday would have been 650,000, but we're talking back in 97. That's when he got sold. So Mickey Evans, and he went on to play international football for Republic of Ireland. Can't be any other contender for me. Mickey Evans. Trigger.
Any others?
So the only other one I had was Sylvan Ebanks Blake, who we had from 2006 2008. One of my favourite players when I was a kid. I think he joined. I can't remember. I joined from Manchester United for I think about 200 grand. We sold him to Wolves for 1 point something million. Brilliant player. He left in under bad circumstances in the end, but he was a brilliant player. I think he scored 60 goals something for us, something like that. But gone.
Oh, wasn't it in Holloway days?
Yeah, it'd have been around then, wouldn't it? Yeah.
I think so.
But my earliest memory I've got of football is Mickey Evans, and it's the cheekiest goal that I've ever seen. Where was it a pass back and the goalkeeper picked it up, an indirect free kick. So he took it out of the keeper's hands, put it on the floor, kicked it against the goalkeeper and scored.
Yeah.
And
that wasn't against. Was that possibly against Ipswich? It was the very last game he had, and he scored on his very last game. And I think that would.
Yeah, it was one of my earliest memories of football was that cheekiest goal and him scoring from a yard out free kick.
What a way to bow out.
Yeah.
Good memories. Jayden, I'm presuming you're putting Edwards in, given you spent the last 2 years with me talking about him.
Yeah, Edwards. Obviously, he did get that whole game, kept us up. He also got a very important goal against Cambridge to seal the win. When we went on to win the league, that pretty much won us the league that game. And also worth a mention, just for some of his performances that same season when we went up, Niall Ennis obviously scored some really important goals. That one against Burton that sent us up. So yeah, a couple of good players in there. Sorry.
Wow, I thought E was going to be hard for you. Definitely not. Right, on to F then next week. Join us for that conversation. You can have a week off from talking about. We've got Bristol Rovers, haven't we, this week? But apart from that, you have a week off from talking about Plymouth. We'll see you in 2 weeks' time when hopefully we've got 3 points at Vale Park. See you then.
Cheers.